guys and gals, Nary here from Drake Wing Gaming, and some of you may on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of In Case of Emergency, Wes's Path. So yeah, before we jump into it, just want to let y'all know that our Patreon is out for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel and get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos, one of which is already up, y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. You, your friends, were shaped by your journeys, molded to become worthy contributors to the fabric of Peregrine. Your heart rises to your throat. More than anything else, you're struck by a profound sense of unfairness. I didn't even get to go on a proper adventure. Remus's eyebrows furrow. Yes, that is true. The bridge was an unexpected development, allowing us to circumvent many parts of the traditional journey. Still, you're not actually resetting the world. You said it yourself. Peregrine needs a new thread every time. Every time you fix it, it comes out a little different than before. How many planks of the ship can be replaced before it is no longer Theseus? Remus takes a step forward, forcing you closer towards the edge of the void. Your pulse races as you scan your surroundings. You think you hear footsteps coming down the hall. Back up. You just need to stall until your friends get here. I don't know. How many planks can be replaced before it's no longer the same ship? What if I'm the last plank? Remus closes his eyes and heaves a heavy sigh. When he opens them again, he speaks fondly, like he's recalling a familiar memory. Once upon a time, there was a young man. He was much like you, with few friends but a rich inner world. Others never seemed quite sure what to make of him. One day, his brother pushed him down a well. Buried in the wet silt, he found something he could not believe. A golden circlet, muddy but intricately engraved. Placing the crown upon his head, he discovered that it fit him perfectly. A new world was unveiled for him. One spun from his deepest fantasies. It was everything he had ever dreamed. For years the world nurtured him, sustained him. It gave him everything he wanted, responded to his desires, and kept him in a state of bliss. But such a world could not last. It was not designed to sustain a single dream for so long. The world needed new blood, new thread for its loom. Remus takes another step forward. Instinctively you draw your sword, but Remus doesn't flinch. You steal a glance behind you, looking out over the expanse of the void you're quickly approaching. Your heart beats rapidly in your chest as you realize you're running out of time. Your collar feels like it's too tight, and it's getting hard to breathe. Is this what Dad felt that day in his office when he keeled over and died? Power necessitates the construction of subjects made disposable and marked for death. Are we the damsel? Am I going to die? Remus gestures to the expanse of void that the heart lies suspended over. I asked you once, Kieran, what you would leave behind in your absence. This is your chance to make something meaningful out of your life. Isn't that what you wanted? I'll do it. No. What happens if you sacrifice yourself? I'm kind of curious of that. Fuck you. Refuse. No. Excuse me? No! I'm not going to do it! Remus's eyes grow steely. You hold your sword out like you actually know how to use it. Like you've been doing anything other than playing an elaborate game of pretend for the past 3 weeks. Remus takes a step forward and you instinctively try to pedal back. But your heel swings wildly over the pit's edge, sending pebbles scattering into the void. You barely have time to collect yourself. You try to take a swing with your sword, but it's too late. Remus closes the distance between you and places a strong hand against your shoulder. Your king commands you. With a single decisive shove, Remus pushes you off the edge, sending you into freefall and spiraling into the darkness below. Before the void swallows you whole, you hear the sound of boot heels racing against stone. Someone calls your name in the distance. Kieran! And then you're back home. You take huge gulps of air after having the wind knocked out of you from your fall. But you don't belong here anymore. This isn't home, and maybe it never was. Something is different this time. The air in your dorm normally smells faintly of sweat and unwashed laundry. The scent suffocating with windows closed during the muggy summers. Second, y'all. Water time. Oh, that's some good coffee. It's the spot after a long day at work. But tonight the air is clear and cool. The smell of clean linens catches in your nostrils, and your room is remarkably more organized. An overflowing trash can, no evidence of self-medicating by way of retail therapy. Not even that chair for clean but not that clean shoes. Clothes. I don't know why I said shoes. If you didn't recognize the comforter on the bed and backpack in the corner, you would think you'd stepped into someone else's room. You have to go back. You know the route between your dorm and the philosophy department and Readout Hall like the back of your hand. Without a second thought, you're racing out the door and through the empty campus in the summer night. The air whips around your bare arms and thighs. Shit. Halfway across the quad, you realize two things. First, you're not wearing any clothes. You're in a ratty old band t-shirt and a pair of boxers, because you had forgotten about insignificant things like modesty in your rush to leave. The second is your ankle, exposed to the elements in a pair of green flip-flops, is entirely healed. What the hell? You reach down to tenderly grasp your ankle and feel nothing out of the ordinary. You try leaning some of your weight on it, like you haven't been putting triple that with every running step you took on concrete on the way here, but you don't feel anything. Weird. That's strange, but you have to keep moving. When you reach the front of Readout Hall, you rattle the glass doors at the base of the building. No luck, they're locked. Shit. Scanning the building, you identify your potential entrance points. On the ground floor are a set of glass doors and a story up, an open window by a tree. In the glass door. You look around for a good-sized rock. Let's climb the side. Here goes nothing. You're not built for climbing trees. Not since you lost your lankier preteen build and indefatigable attitude. But desperation drives you to throw your body against the flaky bark of the tree, its trunk winding along the side of the building. You clench your thighs around the tree's trunk. Bark sloughs off with every shimmy up the tree and lands in your fur. Ow! A sharp chip of wood cuts into the pad of your paw. Keep going. Gritting your teeth, you shift your grip so you're pulling yourself up with the heel of your hand. You can see lights inside the building, probably a security measure. Luckily, the tree begins to slope into a flatter surface, letting you caterpillar yourself along its extended branches. There are leaves and twigs sticking out of your fur, probably bugs too. You can only imagine what you would look like to a custodian looking out the window right now. You worm yourself along the branch that runs closest to the open window. It's probably 3 or 4 feet from your nose, just enough that you can't reach it with one arm while still clinging to your branch. Stand on the branch. You try to shift your weight to your knees and heels, but forcing your weight onto a smaller area has the effect of the tree's branch creaking and dipping ominously. Uh-oh. Ready to jump? There's only one thing you can do. The branch under your feet sways as you assess the distance between yourself and the open window. The opening is too small to dive through, not unless you wanted to clonk your head against glass like a bird in a window cleaner commercial. But you could probably grab the lip and pull yourself through. You bounce on the heels of your feet to give yourself some momentum, leaves and detritus raining on top of you from the upper branches. 3, 2, crack. The branch snaps under you as you take off. No time to think. The first thing you feel is your body smash against the plaster of Readout, the pain ringing through your ribs. But at least you haven't splattered yourself across the concrete below. Fortunately, your hands are gripping the ledge of the open window. Your heart leaps in your chest. You're so close. Pull yourself through. Your side heaves with effort. It's like trying to pull yourself out of the deep end of the pool, sopping wet with 30 extra pounds of water in your fur. Pull yourself through. You strain again. Your flip-flops flailing against the wall as you try to find a grip. You manage to get your forearms through the window and your shoulders start to burn with lactic acid. Pull yourself through. You channel every huge guy at the gym who grunts louder than the sound of his barbells hitting the floor. It turns out they were onto something because with your groaning, you're able to heave your chest onto the windowsill and squeeze yourself through the last bit of toothpaste in a tube. Second, y'all. Coffee time. No longer capable of articulate speech, you catch your breath for a moment before pushing yourself off the ground, leaving a bloody smudge on the tile. Idiot! You stumble through the classroom and into the hallway, where an alarm goes off as soon as you open the door from the inside. After a bit of meandering, you find the staircase and race down as you leave a trail of dead leaves and dirt behind you. Eventually, you find yourself in a familiar hallway. The exit sign at its end still blinks with a sickly green light, beckoning you forward like a light at the end of the dock. You stretch your arms out towards the literary symbol. You smell that? It's the smell of the American dream. Bull markets and bronze testicles. My favorite part of the Great Gatsby was how Gatsby respected women. King of the feminists. Their hermeneutical quest for a symbolic literary truth is so last century. In this essay, I read the homosocial bond between Jay Gatsby and Nick Carraway through the lens of queer theory, a post-structuralist framework put forward by scholars such as... Eventually, you reach the emergency exit. Your hands close around the cold metal of the handle. You exhale. This is it. You need this door to open. You've never needed anything in your life more badly. If this lock doesn't give, you're almost afraid to try. It strikes you that it might be better to never know than to know for certain. Sorry, y'all. Try the door. You push the door forward. It doesn't budge. Try the door. Maybe you misremembered. Maybe you had to pull the door. You try pulling the door this time, but the door rattles uselessly in place. Try the door. You start throwing your body against it helplessly, each slam echoing through the empty hallway. Fuck, fuck, fuck! Kieran? Huh? You try to make word with mouth, but word no come out. Abbott cringes like you might be patient zero of the zombie apocalypse. You're about to turn him into patient, and you're about to turn him into patient number 1. Are you alright? You clear your throat as memories of being a functioning member of society come back to you. The first feeling to return is the hot flush of shame. Yes, I was just... Actually, I was hoping to get a chance to talk to you. In the silence, you swear you hear a drop of your own blood fall to the ground. Abbott looks down the hallway, where you've left a trail of leaves and dirt along the carpet. The security alarm blares in the distance. I see. You and Abbott seem to realize at the same time that you're wearing only a t-shirt and boxers. My self-preservation instinct is telling me this is a lawsuit in the making, but my duty as an educator compels me to ensure you are all right before I let you go. Would you care to step into my office? I can call off security for you inside. There's no alarm in there. I cut all the wires while severing my connection to the World Wide Web. I believe I have a first aid kit as well, for emergencies presumably. I hope you are up to date on your tetanus vaccinations, for I have nothing to help you in that regard. The professor gestures vaguely and shuffles into his office without waiting for a response. Abbott is searching through piles of loose-leaf papers and folders when you enter. He ducks under his desk and burrows through items, throwing out books behind him like clods of earth. Aha! He produces a small first aid tin and undoes its metal clasps, sliding it across the desk towards you. Mind anything that looks like cough syrup. Given how old this thing is, it may very well be heroin. You silently rummage through the tin with one hand, picking through the items with 2 fingers. Everything is coated in a thin layer of dust. The dust so old it's caked on as grime. Second, y'all. Coffee time. And that's the last bit of coffee. Alright. If you didn't have tetanus already, you probably would get it just by touching anything in this box. So, how goes your final project? Are you prepared for your presentation this Friday? Final project? Oh, right. You'd forgotten all about the dick. Shit. You instinctively check your pockets, like it might be sitting like a concealed dagger strapped to your calf. It's not. I'm working on it. I'm still working on it. Ah, well, I'm sure you've removed that stain by now. If not, well, Abbott shrugs cryptically. Perhaps you'll find something outside the classroom that can help you. I know I enjoy going for a walk off campus when I'm stuck mulling over a problem. What? Downtown. Lovely stores out there. A great variety of goods one can purchase by exchanging money for. Speaking of which, I hear that congratulations are in order. You've secured a job, haven't you? Oh, the assistant internship? It's possible that the version of you that stayed behind submitted an application and got the job. You've been so busy that it had completely slipped your mind. No, a proper full-time job. Perhaps in marketing? He taps his chin in thought. Did you know, Kieran, I've been on this campus for 25 years now? I did both my undergraduate and graduate work at Corinth. After my PhD, it was between working here and a postdoc in Berlin. But who in their right mind would turn down a tenure-track position when it was offered to them? Yes, it was easier back then, but work has always been the same. I'm sure the work-life balance is no better for undergraduates like yourself. Remember to set boundaries, Kieran. Yes, that's why I don't take calls from home while at work, or vice versa. You wonder if that's why he's still in his office in the middle of the night. Maybe it's preferable to whatever's at home. You can still hear the alarms blaring out in the hallway. Sorry, did you say you could call off security from here? Oh, yes. He slides open a drawer in his desk and begins removing items. A stack of stapled papers, a black stapler with a chipped paint job, a smattering of ballpoint pens. This was the result of a long and protracted fight between myself and the administration. We had to compromise eventually, as one must always do. Office politics and all that. I was allowed to have all emails faxed and mailed to my box in the department office. In exchange, they would let me throw my personal computer out the window. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!